Welcome to Tanked Up, the podcast all about beer and video games. I'm Ben, and I'm here with the mimicking man, Mr. Aadil.
Yes. Hey, that was some jokes for only the people who watch the video, which I believe is no one.
About 6 people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, about 6 people in each episode, I think.
Oh, that's pretty good. Hi,
Some
6 people.
Hi, 6 people. Hi, YouTube 6 people. You guys want to see what our beers and our faces look like, obviously. Tonight, the first episode of 2019
Holy shit.
is going to be a little bit different. Aadil, you're drinking beer.
Yes.
But I am
Scary.
not.
I'm also pretty unaware of things I'm supposed to be talking about, so that's also par for the course.
It's a standard episode, really.
Yeah.
We are, yes. I'm not drinking beer. I'm going to be drinking rum because I was gifted, 4 bottles over Christmas. I enjoy rum. I like it. People obviously know that. And I haven't had time to go to the bottle shop. So, breaking my own rule, I'm not drinking beer, but drink something else instead that I enjoy.
Are you going to be drinking out of the tanked up non-beer vessel?
I'm going to be drinking out of...
You gotta find yourself a measuring cup, sir.
That's
the official non-beer drinking.
I probably do have 3 measuring cups in the house. Yeah. I could have used. That was poor planning on my part. You're right. We are also going to be talking about our kind of most anticipated games of the upcoming year. Some of them might be released in this year. Some of them might not be. Who knows? We've had 0 dates for anything apart from the first sort of quarter of games being released. But we're going to talk about that. So, Aadil, first beer of the evening. What are you going for?
I'm going a beer you will recognize because you bought it for me for Christmas. Is the Weird Beard Kill Pills, a changing dry hopped pills. Minstrel Archer Pacifica. Lagers have a bad reputation in history. This is our attempt to avenge that. Where we've brewed a new Pilsner in our range that's complex and deserving of appreciation. Actions speak louder than words, and we want ours to speak volumes. So we're putting out a series of these Pilsners, each armed with different dry hops, under the name Kill Pills. Understand that Kill Pills is no shirking... I thought it was shirking violet, not shrinking violet. Anyway.
No, shrinking violet.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought shirking. It is nothing ordinary. Each changing dry hop profile is unrelenting in being aromatic and flavorful. Each hopping schedule is calculated and well executed in the final beer. Every batch of this beer is as clean as the decisive slash of a samurai, just as excellently crafted as a sword made by Hattori Hanzo. A bold Pilsner stands before you in this bottle with the potential to massacre the existing generic mass-produced lagers out there. A beer like this should be by no means be underestimated in bringing its retribution.
Jeez, they put a lot of info on that bottle.
Except not really, because... What? Isn't it? Besides anger.
Just pure flavor text, nothing else.
Non-flavor text.
Yes.
Yeah.
You pulled that one. You mentioned I bought it for you for Christmas. Yes, I saw that one, and I thought of us as such because we barely get Weird Beard down here. Lucy drinks it all the time. She really enjoys them, so I thought that was a good one to pick.
It's also why I kept it for the podcast because I thought
nice. A good choice.
Do we ever get these?
Yes. I don't know what to start with. I have 3 rums because I thought I'd go through them quite quickly. Obviously, just a small glass of each. I might start first with... I've not had... I'll start with the one I have had first, but I haven't had for a long time. So, this is the Havana Club 7-year special.
It's a good rum.
It is. It is a good rum. I managed to finish off a bottle on a New Year's Eve one year after drinking beer most of the afternoon. Blacked out round about 1 o'clock in the morning. So, probably not going to drink quite that much today. I'm going to drink a little bit. Am I going to read you the flavour text of these rums? No, I'm not.
Is there flavour text or is there just...
there is flavour text. Each of them do have...
Well,
one of them's in Spanish, so I can't read that one. All right, I'll do the Havana Club. Havana Club 7 is a marriage of characterful rums, each aged for a minimum of 7 years. Uniquely, every time we make it, a portion is returned to barrel for several more years. This extra aged rum is then added back to a future batch of Havana Club 7 in a cycle of continuous aging. The result is a multi-layered rum that can be enjoyed neat or with your own twist. Well, I'm going to be drinking it neat because, of course,
You're a tidy person.
Exactly. I'm only have a little, swig of each, and I'll see how quickly I get through it.
Yeah.
Tell us about your beer.
It is a little more orangey amber than I was expecting. Hard to tell in this light for you 6 people looking at the video. As you can, it's definitely a lager. Like the head has just sat around the entire time. I poured it right after finishing the plethora of text, and it's still a finger there. Like literally, you could see on the video. Look, a finger of head. It's got a bit of a lemony, lemon citrus nose to it, which is really interesting. You can tell that it's been dry hopped because, again, usually we don't get much of a nose on these lagers. I want to say almost something a touch soapy.
Okay. Sort of. With a lot of beers, you get that, or a lot of, say, like cheaper lagers, you kind of get a slight weedy kind of dankness to them that's quite light and kind of fades into a slightly more soapy kind of smell and flavour, really. Is it sort of like that, or is it more like that kind of coriander seed sort of...
It's a bit more like a very light coriander, but very antiseptic, like very, very small and really light. So it doesn't have that like earthiness in it.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
I don't know if you can hear Grumbly Pants beside me.
Only just. He's like, give me beer. Give me beer.
It's more of that coriander-y-ish taste. It's quite light. I'd almost classify, say, delicate. There's some other things going on, but they're all quite light. That sort of textbook nuttiness that you get a little bit with pilsners and lagers in general isn't there at all.
Okay.
It's got a little bit of a slight piney bitterness in the finish.
Yeah.
Also just again, like I've said this before on the podcast, growing up around deciduous trees, like if you as a child you try biting into a pine needle and you get that like really strong bitter taste, it's that sort of thing, but really super scaled back. So it's that like specific type of piney bitterness, but really, 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 really light.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah, it's really, really pleasant and easily drinkable. Subsequent sips, what I'm liking a lot about this is the bitterness from the hops is building.
Okay.
So like third and fourth sips have tasted, I think because the finish just lasts, so it starts to compound. Because everything else is so light that now suddenly the foretaste is getting some of that bitterness because it's in my mouth, and it's really quite refreshing in that way. It does mean that I will want to drink it quicker because then I'll have that compounding taste.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I can expect this one to go back pretty swiftly.
Tell us about Havana Club number 7.
Havana Club 7. It's a big nose. I could smell it after I'd poured it and I'd set the glass down. It was just wafting kind of towards me. It's hard to pick up kind of anything on the nose, really. You're getting, obviously, it's kind of got that alcohol-y kind of, not, it's like you were saying about like a clinical kind of soapiness. You know, with a lot of spirits, especially when you drink them neat, you get that kind of ethanol waft from them. You kind of get that underlying kind of alcohol that just breaks through almost everything in the flavour a lot of the time on the nose. But it's quite a light nose, really. And when you have when you sip it, a lot of that kind of the flavor sort of just unfolds towards you, and you can kind of, when you go back to smell it, you can get like, oh yeah, okay, I can kind of get that a little bit now, but it's quite difficult to get it on the first nose that you take of it. But in the flavor, I mean, you get that initial kind of burn right at the front of your tongue, on the sides. It wafts quite quickly towards the back, and I'm feeling it here already. Like that burn just seeps down my throat. I'm getting I know they were saying that it was oak aged or put back into oak aged barrels, but I'm getting a lot of kind of woody notes from this. I think there's a slight bit of vanilla, but I've had some rums which are like just a big vanilla hit, and they're not my favourite kind of rums. I think rums that lean into vanilla a little bit too much, they're just not quite for me. I like something like this, which is a little bit more delicate. You're getting those woody kind of notes through. Havana Club, or the 7, I don't think it's not. I say it's not a spiced rum. It might have vanilla in it,
right? But it's not like a spiced rum, like a red.
Exactly. It's more of a dark rum. Yeah. But it kind of, I think it's, I want to say it kind of feels like it's edging a little bit towards like a licoricey kind of taste to it as well. And I don't know whether that's the combination of the kind of the more oaky, woody sort of flavour, and that burn is creating that kind of flavour to it. The combination of how it feels and how it tastes is just sinking to give me something else, perhaps. But I mean, it's super easy to drink, really. Yes, I suppose if you're not a seasoned kind of like spirits drinker, you will take a swig of this and you will feel that burn kind of instantly. But you're going to do that probably with any spirit that you would drink. So if you're kind of a rum drinker anyway, this is just a nice dark rum, very easy to drink, that's not doing anything crazy, really. At least from what I've supped so far, it's not doing anything crazy.
But it sounds like it's so like I'm a Scotchman, single malt Scotchman, and the like Balvenie Double Wood is a classic favorite of mine because it just does what it does really well, and it's like what I call like a quote unquote daily. Like he's not doing anything extravagant, but because of that, it's always going to be welcome. Is that sort of the pocket?
Yeah,
this
definitely. Yeah, definitely is. I've been drinking the fourth bottle, which I'm not sort of featuring tonight because I've already drank half of it. Was Red Leg. I cannot remember the distillery's name, but that is a spiced rum. Kind of, you do get a vanilla hit from that, but it fades quite quickly, which is nice. It's not it's not a Captain Morgan's. It's there when they took over the Morgan Spice, and it being like their spiced rum is full of vanilla, or Sailor Jerry's, which is full of vanilla. That had a nice vanilla hit, but it faded very, very nicely. And that was again an easy drink. Not quite as deep as the Havana Club. Didn't quite give me as much of a burn. I think it was 40%, which most rums are. The Havana Club is. The second one I'll drink also is. The third one is not, though. The third one is different, but we'll get to that later. Let's drink and talk about games. Huzzah! Just before we jump into our anticipated games, I have actually found 30 minutes to play something since we last recorded. That's it, though. 30 minutes to play.
I have it.
No, that was before Christmas. Yes, you've got exactly. No, I've started Hitman 2. I've played the first mission.
Now, when you say the first mission, do you mean the first mission of Hitman 2 or the remastery?
No, the first mission of Hitman 2. I found out that I didn't really know how to access those missions. So, last week or a few days ago, it must have been before the weekend, I downloaded Hitman. to make sure that it was on my machine for when because I knew I was getting Hitman 2 for when I brought it back, so I could use that. I then went into Hitman 2, and it said, go into Hitman to then get the Legacy pack to be able to use in Hitman 2, to, essentially to show that I have that game.
Sure, yeah, so you had to check a box somewhere magically. Yeah,
essentially. So I went into Hitman, I went through the store pages, and I clicked on the Legacy pack. I think it's called the Legacy pack. Yeah. And that basically started a download of the entire game again. Just the Legacy version of the entire game. So for a very brief point in time, I had two versions of Hitman and one version of Hitman 2 on my machine.
And I mean, I've had that, but that's because I didn't uninstall games, and so I had the original Hitman and then Hitman.
Good. Yeah. I wonder if I have like Silent Assassin
fair,
anywhere.
The original Hitman was Hitman Agent 40, codename
It was
47. So true. Hitman was actually a unique name, but now with Hitman 2, I think the only thing that differs is that I guess you could pronounce the first Hitman 2 as Hitman II.
No, because Hitman 2 is Hitman 2 Silent Assassin.
Oh, was it an II though, or was it a?
No, I don't. I don't know.
For some reason,
I don't know. I don't remember that. I just remember it being Silent Assassin tagged on the end. So
that's right. And now it's just number 2.
Yes. So I jumped into Hitman 2 whilst these things were downloading in the background. Yeah. So I thought I'd start on the first Hitman 2 mission, which is a big house on the beach, which you infiltrate. There's no one around, which is very interesting. You go into the map, you learn what's going on. You move around it, try and suss out kind of all of the points. You have to go and collect something, and when you do, people show up. Of course they do. So you then have to escape, essentially. And it's very good as a very kind of swift and easy kind of training mission. There's only one target. There's not a ridiculous amount of guards. You're not, you're not going to be easily caught by the CCTV system, because part of the starting kind of tutorial that takes you through that level says, here are cameras, you should probably take these out, and points you towards them, and then you're a bit more aware of going around and shooting out cameras and things like that. So it leads you in quite nicely, even though it does still have that that kind of prologue element, those prologue missions that you got within Hitman. They kind of still exist in this game without having to have Hitman. So there is a tutorial, but then kind of the first level leads you in kind of quite nicely, really, that you don't have to worry about it too much. So enjoying it. Obviously, it's more Hitman. As Lucy said when we were discussing it kind of on the last episode, it's more Hitman. It does feel like Hitman 1.5. But that's fine for me at the moment. That's exactly what I want.
Did you ever finish Hitman, whatever it was called? 7?
Hitman 2016, 2015, 2016. 16. Yes. I did. Yeah. So I played all the missions. You just didn't do all the nonsense. Like you didn't Lucy it or like. Nowhere near. I definitely played around with it. But I maybe did, 25-30% of each of the maps and the different kinds of missions you can do and stuff.
That's still a good
I spent a reasonable amount of time with it. And as well, I didn't buy it episodically, so I got it all in one hit. So it was just kind of the game I played for a couple of weeks, I seem to remember. I think Hitman 2 will be similar to that it will be the game I now play for a couple of weeks. I'll play something else.
I think it's interesting that it seemed like the episodic release kept them in the news cycle quite well.
Yeah, definitely.
But obviously not well enough that they didn't think, fuck it, let's just put out a game again.
Well, I know they obviously had issues with Square Enix.
Oh, that's right. Right. Because all about that whole thing.
Yeah. Because they dropped the studio, and obviously the studio must have retained all of the rights. They retained the rights to the first game.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They must. I assume they must own the IP. But I don't think that always means you own the game. It's dependent on how a publisher has sort of funded it, or what, they may just have done distribution. They may not have funded anything, Square Enix. But so it's interesting that they got to keep that, and that they have kind of, they've gone out on their own and they've managed to smash out Hitman 2 in, they may have been working on it for 2 years, and Square Enix turned around and said, we don't want to put this game out. Sorry, you're on your own. And they've gone, okay, let's just turn it around quickly. We've gone out on our own. We need a big cash injection. Let's release what we've got as just one big package.
Yeah, I mean, that seems likely, because I mean, Hitman was the original Hitman. It's always been an IO developer, but it was originally published by IDOS before that was bought by Square.
Yeah.
So
maybe that came along with the acquisition, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm guessing, and that's why they've had that relationship. But
yeah.
So
super fun.
Good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we've managed to talk all around except the whole part where you spent 30 minutes playing it.
Yeah, I mean, it feels fluid. It feels good. The sort of the kind of the stealth elements, the crouching, hiding behind things, being able to take people out as they walk past you, all of that feels good. It feels fluid. It feels easy. I haven't kind of come into any firefights yet.
Really,
so
I was going to ask because so one of the things that frustrates me with Hitman games is that it's, especially Hitman 1, it was really bad for this. Hitman 1 had very low threshold fucking up.
Yeah.
But as the series went on, it got better at you would have bad runs, but you didn't take a lot of work to have a good run, just not a perfect run. It managed to do those 3 levels of stealth games, right? Where the first level is survival, get it done. Second level is get it mostly done such that you don't feel like a prick and you could move on if you felt like it. And then the third level is actually quite difficult and takes a lot of work. Hitman 2 was really good for actually getting Silent Assassin on every mission was hard. Yeah. But feeling like you were mostly silent, but you didn't make it perfect wasn't that hard.
Yes.
That gave you the challenge and a feeling of reward while making the pinnacle really hard to get.
Yeah. I don't know kind of how it evolves through the rest of the stages, because this first mission does feel quite easy, really. I'm playing it on the second difficulty. There's 3 difficulties. I'm playing it on the middle one, which I think is called Professional, I think.
Which, I hate how they don't call these things normal things. And also, some developers have decided that, we'll give you 5 difficulties, but we're going to tell you the right way to play this game is on 4+. Well, then, why
just make it that? Just make it that.
Right? Yeah, make level 1, skip level 2 and 3. I don't know. It bothers me that it's just... and also, normal... Whatever word is most synonymous with normal should be what you're coding to.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
If it's not normal, you're abusing the term.
Yeah, you're deviating from the term, exactly. Yeah. Yes. So yes, apart from the odd naming convention, I'm playing it on kind of normal, on the middle difficulty. Yeah. I have started the Miami level, but I haven't got that far into it. I've basically walked around a little bit. So I don't know kind of how it is as a whole package on some of the other levels. I know Lucy's playing it in a way that she is trying to just do kind of every level as she goes.
She's not gonna until she's done with a level. She's not progressing.
Try and get as much done in it as she would like to.
Because it seemed really daunting, and that's what my gut wants me to do.
Yeah. I'm the complete opposite. I'm just gonna run through the whole thing.
And then go back to the things.
And go back to the kind of the one I like the most. Try different things out, which then may open up other options, or not open up other options in the other missions, but allow me to think slightly differently about maybe the other missions and stuff.
My New Year's resolution is to game more like Ben. But I mean, one of the reasons why I don't play games as much is because my approach is so completionist that starting a game has a daunting level, and I'm gonna, you know, I should be done the dissertation soon, but then it's job applications, and who knows what life will be. But in general, like I like playing games, and I don't do it as much, even when I have the time, because of this mindset. And so I'd like to fix that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because
it's a good, a good thing to strive towards.
Well, and I barely buy games, but because I have like the Humble Monthly, like I can still get a couple games a month, and like even if I let myself just poke it and then let it go because whatever, then I'm gonna actually play way more games and not really even with spending more. And also, I have a backlog up the wazoo.
Just to run through all of last year's games, apart from the.
I still haven't touched God of War, which I borrowed from you before Spiderman, which I borrowed from you on Christmas. Oh, also, I don't know if you. Please tell me you don't. That Evelyn doesn't have this, because this is the replacement Christmas book.
She does not. No.
Good. It's really good. It's written by B.J. Novak, one of the creators of the American Office and writers.
Oh,
it's
with a name quite close to mine. I like that.
For those of you who weren't watching, it's the book with no pictures by B.J. Novak. It's my niece and nephew love it.
Good.
It's really well written, and it is true to the name. There are no pictures, but that doesn't matter. It's just good story time.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, I just saw it and I was like, oh wait, I'll ask this question in the middle of whatever. So, Hitman, you're keen to play more?
Yes, definitely, and we'll talk about it more when kind of Lucy is back on as well.
We're done.
Sorry, Lucy, you missed your chance. I've got
you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna install Hitman 1, and you're gonna play the legacy levels, and we're gonna talk about the same levels and get confused because there will be small differences.
Slightly different. I can hide in a crowd. You can't.
Oh, is that one of the things? There's no Assassin's Creed academic scholar mode. That's what it was.
Yes, not in yours, sir, but they will be in mine. So I'm drinking 3 rums. Yes. I may move on to my second rum. Are you ready to move on to another beer, or are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good. Awesome. Right, I shall pour my next rum. So this is just spiced rum.
From just called spiced rum.
Just called spiced rum from Dark Matter, I assume make other drinks. They're in Aberdeenshire, in Scotland, so maybe they make whiskies. I don't know. So they their flavour text, or at least they say molecular engineering, Scotland. I don't know what that means. Essence shows you a little.
Oh wow! So they are
composition
Scotland's first rum distillery.
Oh, good googling. Nice.
Yeah.
They do have a little bit of flavour text. Our curiosity drives us, while science inspires us. Combining knowledge and imagination, we obsessively pursue flavour through systematic study, observation, and experiment. There we go. Okay.
Their website's flavour text is the taste equivalent of warping into a liquid black hole, but without every atom in your body being crushed to an infinitely small point. I was quite sad that they didn't have that on the bottle. I was like, fuck, that's great. I'm waiting for Ben to read this. No, Ben didn't.
No, that one's not on there. I thought it was, I don't know why I thought it was a cork, but it's not. It's a screw cap. Whoa. Jeez.
Oh, it's a spiced rum.
It is a spiced rum.
Started with that one.
Cool.
Or maybe ended with that one. Is the last one spiced?
I don't know. It's all in Spanish.
Oh. I mean, yes, by definition, then. I think it might have been racist. I don't know.
The last one is a Cuban rum. So I have no idea. But I'm going to drink this one now. It's got a big, big nose. I mean, as soon as you take that cap off, you get it.
That's a good spiced rum should smack your face. That's what
spiced rum. And this does. This absolutely hit me. It's not like a golden spiced rum. It's still quite dark. Not quite as dark. Not quite as black as the Havana Club. A little bit lighter.
I'd say more red.
A slight reddiness, a little bit.
It's not that it's more
bronzy,
red. It's just
perhaps
closer to red than brown. The last one was browner.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a little bronziness to it. So, I'll smell this. What are you drinking next, Mo?
I'm drinking Arbor's All the Mo's.
Ooh.
Do you know
Another
this
canned
one?
Arbor.
It's a 1 pint Arbor can, and it is a hoppy pale ale brewed with New Zealand Moterre, New Zealand Motueka, and American hops. It is All the Mo's.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to this. I generally like the Mo hops.
Yeah.
And this has them all. And it's a pint. 1 pint.
And that is exactly the size you want a beer in. Is it a pale? An IPA?
It's a pale, I believe.
Yeah.
It is a hoppy pale ale, yeah.
Nice. Good.
Although, so with this many hops, I don't know what makes it not an IPA when it's super hoppy in a pale ale.
Maybe it says there's a little bit of malt in
that
there.
nose is amazing. Shut up. This is great. It is fruity and citrusy and...
Ooh.
Oh, there's something... Oh, what is that? There's something else going on, but I'm getting, obviously, with the Mosaic and the Motueka, you're getting the standard things, but I don't know the Motuere.
No, I don't either.
I don't know that word.
No.
But it's doing I'm assuming it's that because I know I'm more familiar with the other hops, but it's doing something very interesting.
Okay, nice.
There's like a fresh, zesty, not quite zesty because that sort of has more of the citrus than I want, but this is fresh zippiness to this nose while still being very much what you'd think from a Motueka and a Mosaic hoppy beer. It's fucking... This is one of the best... This is the best beer I've smelled all year.
Wow. That's high praise. 3 days in.
Yeah.
Good.
This is... Yeah, I mean, the nose alone is worth seeking out, actually.
Yeah. Nice, man.
So tell me about your rum.
So, I mean, as I said, you're instantly hit with a nose on this. It feels like it's a lot of cinnamon. Like that is pushing through massively.
Oh, that's interesting. That's not something I would super pursue.
Wow. Jeez. So it has a very different burn to the Havana Club. Kind of tiny fishing rod.
It's a crab holding a fishing rod. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you. I'm just making it so more people will look us up on YouTube.
Just to see what's going on, exactly. They don't know that we're doing weird hand movements, but everyone else is talking about it.
I mean, originally it was while you were tasting. It was in front of me, packing up some Lego earlier, and then I was just like, oh, I'll play with this in front of the camera. And then you started actually talking about your thing, and then I was like, oh, I should stop. And you're like, wait, what is that? No, too late. Derailed.
Right. Back to the spiced rum. I'm getting it's a very different burn to the Havana Club. It's more kind of at the front of my tongue, on my lips, rather than like back of the mouth and the throat and the chest kind of burn. It's very kind of cinnamony, but there may be something like it's the same kind of not burn, but it's the same kind of fizziness that if you just sort of eat or have something that's like a ginger kind of essence to it, like a ginger beer or something that gives you that slight kind of fizziness in there. It feels like it's got that as well. I'm not getting any kind of
I was just say
ginger
it's a rum,
on.
it's not.
Yeah, I'm not getting any ginger on the flavour.
Like
Not carbonation, but it's kind of it's not quite a burn. It's not quite that sort of alcoholic burn. It's a little bit lighter than that, and it's kind of just a bit of a, I don't know, a hard one to describe. But
I'm not sure I'm following what that fizziness is, but I think I get what you mean by like a light gingeriness.
yes, yeah, a light gingeriness to it. Having a second sip, the second sip starts to burn the back of the mouth a little bit. And the ginger, and there must be ginger in this, definitely. It's starting to come through a little bit more. There seems maybe that there is a ginger and maybe a little bit of cinnamon kind of going against that. Definitely in the nose there's a lot of that cinnamon.
Do you think the gingeriness is coming through because it's a spice and it's got a burn?
Don't know whether it was like the last rum, whether the flavour and the texture of it kind of gave it that licorice kind of essence to it. Whether this is doing the same and giving it a little bit of a sort of a gingery essence to it, I'm unsure. But that's kind of how it comes across, at least. And again, it's very light. It's got a little sweetness to it as well, which whilst that burn is kind of is going on in the background, or is not really in the background, but whilst that burn is going on in my mouth, there's a slight sweetness left, almost like right on the tip of my tongue, which whilst my mouth is drying out, this sweetness is kind of trying to make me salivate slightly, you know, trying to bring that to the front. It's really interesting kind of texture to this, to kind of see what my mouth wants me to do next, because I definitely want to grab the glass and have another sip, but that kind of that burn is sort of saying you don't really need to right now. You could wait a little bit, and the flavour sticks around quite nicely. But that sweetness on the tip of my tongue is like, no, go on, just keep going, have another sip.
I mean, that's what you want out of a spiced rum. You want that lingering sweetness. So we were talking on the first rum about how spiced rums tend to, or actually non-spiced rums, sort of dark. A lot of dark rums do that sort of oaky vanilla-y route, and I'm just curious, with the spiced rum, are you getting any of that vanilla, or is it just getting drowned out by anything else? If there was,
I mean, if it does have vanilla, and I'm not getting it, I can't quite sort of tell you what that sweetness is. Whether it is a vanilla, or it's something else. It's so kind of in the background, or at least it's pushed so much by this this kind of gingery, or this spiced kind of cinnamony flavour that it's hard to discern what that is. But it's there, it's present,
right?
Just giving it a slightly different kind of profile, rather than just a bit of a gingery, cinnamony kind of burn. So yeah, nice. So all the Mo's, it's poured. Looks good.
Oh yeah. You know what that missing thing is? It reminds me of, I can't remember who made it, but there was like in the past month, sometime in December, I had a like milkshake IPA that I was surprised wasn't super in your face. It's that same creaminess.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's like this a smoothness around the more familiar hops notes that I was smelling.
Nice.
Oh, that is an excellent beer.
Ooh.
It's surprisingly light on the finish.
Yeah.
It doesn't linger, like the actual taste doesn't linger very long. The finish it hits the finish, and the finish doesn't fade completely, but sort of drops 2 steps down.
Yeah.
But it's the same notes that of the nose, which is excellent. And that creaminess sort of helps sort of just bridge all those things and keep them separate, I guess.
And that kind of that punchiness fading to the style of the beer, rather than kind of sticking around.
Very much so. So like, if I swish around my mouth, that bitterness lasts a little longer, but it's still not much longer. I'm still having mostly it's the light florally citrus that's sticking around.
Yeah.
And again, that creaminess, whatever that is coming from, is what bridges sort of all the taste moves. It's it's really good. I might actually I might nurse it, because it tastes like, because so much happens in the taste, but very quickly. And like it gets to the finish quite quickly, and the finish it does last. I mean, it's got some nice bitter aftertones, but there's not much changing. It's a very slow decline.
Yeah.
Of the finish. So I could easily if I liked just the finish, I wouldn't reach for another sip. So it really depends on if I want to explore more those first moves more. Whether I think it's either going to take me forever to finish, or I'm going to like keep pursuing that taste to try and figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a really excellent beer, and it's
Nice.
it's got it feels full bodied, but it's nuanced, and I think that's what that sort of what I'm calling the creaminess is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of things going on, but they're not in your face.
Nice.
And there's a slightly more sort of condensed effervescence. So like the bubbles are not super, like it's not super bubbly, but it's there, and I think that's that's helping with that creaminess. It's just the texture is also not a velvety mouth feel, but like some mouth feel that sort of it's not super dry, and during it you're like pretty satisfied. It's like a medium level of bubbles, and it's a really well packaged beer.
Nice. I mean, everything you're saying is making me want to run to the bottle shop and
Find
grab
this
one.
beer.
Yeah.
It's really tasty. I like it a lot.
Nice. Good. Let's start talking then about our anticipated games of 2019.
Things I know a lot about.
We shall kind of rattle through these. I think for me, a lot of them, apart from maybe the ones that are releasing within the first few months, we don't know a huge amount about.
Which I'm okay with. I think hype cycles have. I mean, I've never really bought into them, but boy, have they fucked up fandom and games journalism. We'll say. We'll leave it at that. Just show me the game when it's almost done. Tell me why I should play it, and then let me buy it soon afterwards. I'm going to start us off with a game that I think you poked a little, and you might not be able to talk about, but I'm cautiously optimistic. It's a big CO to Anthem. I'm curious because I didn't think I'd like Destiny when I got a free copy on the Xbox. I played a buck ton of it. When I got a free copy of Destiny 2 on the PC, I played not a lot because my internet connection was just cut outy enough that couple of days that it just kept resetting the first mission. I was like, oh, this is very annoying. I don't care enough about this game. And then I finally finished it, and I played a game of soccer in like the hub world, and I was like, well, I'm bad at the soccer game. And I don't feel like starting a real mission because I'm sure like internet connection will bump me out of it, so it won't count. Fuck this game, even though I had it for free. But I didn't think I'd like the concept of these sort of persistent, levelly, not quite MMO hybrid. I don't know what you call the class of game.
I don't know, really. They're kind of
it's a persistent multiplayer shooter, which has plot elements, but it's much more. Yeah, it's like an endgame MMO FPS, I guess. It's like we won't really trouble you with the levelly, grindy stuff. We'll just you'll do the same raids over and over, and that's why people like it. And I actually what I really liked about Destiny 1, and I'm never finished it, and I sold my Xbox, so I never will. Is I really liked the world building. And I really liked the story, and I didn't really want to replay the raids I had done or whatever to get the fat loot, or because there was a treasure chest, and I'm like, so Destiny 2 has a very slim appeal to me because it's like I'm just curious how well you wrote this, and then once I get run out of writing, I don't get this game. But I had enough fun with the few raids I did on Destiny 1, which I got. Expansion 3, which I'm going to call Wrath of the Lich King because I don't remember what it was called. And I played a little with fellow X Out of Livers now, and that was really enjoyable. And so that gave me a taste of, I see how FPS rating could be fun. Sure. Anthem, if it seems to be skewing more open worldy, exploratory,
slightly,
and that's exactly what I liked about my foray into Destiny 1 was just wandering about while pursuing plot. So as long as there's some plot, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'll obviously wait for everyone to have an opinion, and then expansion 1 comes out, the core game will be really cheap, and I might buy it then.
It's very similar to how I'm feeling about The Division 2.
Oh, that was on my list too.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's quite high on my list, really. I mean, well, I say high on my list. These aren't really in any order, but it's. I'm looking forward to it. I really enjoyed The Division. We spoke about it at length, around release because we
I
both
think the
kind
only
of
reason
dabbled with it.
we didn't end up playing more of it. I actually think I stagnated you because there was a big global gap when you got into it, and then I tried playing it on the PS4 and I discovered just how bad I am at aiming with a controller, and it was so frustrating because I was at basically endgame. I was like 2 missions short of endgame on the PC, but I didn't really have anyone to play with. And then you picked it up and were screaming through the game, and I was like, "Fuck it, yeah, I'll." It was on sale. I'll buy it. I'll catch up. And then it was like, I can't. I've done this mission before. I know what the things are. I can't do controller. And one of the things I didn't do because it was. I don't remember. It was before a Battlefield 1 time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So and it was before I think my Destiny times are right around the same. Like, it hadn't figured out how to aim or like how to, fix my sensitivity settings to make it work or whatever. And it was just really frustrating. But you kind of stopped progressing because you were waiting for me, and I feel like that interaction stopped us both.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, I mean, I there was a few other people that I kind of dipped in and out with, but I essentially played it as a single player game. Really,
I did on PC as well, and I loved it as a single player.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm looking forward to Division 2.
Sniper rifle and handgun, my friend. That's the loadout.
I was always shotgun and assault rifle.
Fuck yeah, we really. I mean, that we should pair well together then.
Yeah, but that's kind of the reason I want to play it again. I like the setting. Obviously the setting is slightly different, but I like the kind of like the gameplay, the perspective, kind of what they had going, enough to bring me into the second game, but to want to play with other people. I don't really want to experience that game again as a single player game. I'd much rather experience that game again as a multiplayer experience, and I could do that with The Division. It's so cheap now that a bunch of us could probably pick it up and play through it, but with The Division 2 kind of on the doorstep, it seems a bit crazy.
I mean, I thought I'd be more annoyed at the bullet sponginess of things, and I wasn't really. I mean, part of it I think was like if you lucked out, you could get like, especially with my mouse and keyboarding and playing a sniper, it was like, oh, if I managed to luck out to get an earlier drop than I normally would have, like a really powerful fucking sniper rifle, it'd be like, oh, the next mission I'm going to own because because everything's based on like just stupid numbers, right? So it's like, I have a gun that has more numbers than it should, so my headshots are just actually headshots, and they're not just higher spongy headshots. It was like, ping, 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 ping. This is great.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think the Division 2 is going to be very similar.
Yeah.
In that kind of sponginess to it.
I mean,
but
I also kind of enjoyed Tom Clancy's TM Ghost Recon.
Oh yes.
Wildlands. For the similar reasons, and I ended up buying it and then never playing it because I played it a little bit, but I really enjoyed our stupid times on the beta.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to play something a little more corralled than that, and that's what Division 2 seems to.
Definitely, yeah.
So
At least it seems a little bit more controlled.
I mean, I think that would be like, so like we haven't really had a game to like co-op. So I don't remember when we stopped playing Battlefield 1 regularly.
A while ago.
Yeah, but I'm sort of looking forward to something like that. I think Division 2 might be the thing that could slot in well.
Yeah, and it's nice for you as well because it's a March release, so hopefully you'll be kind of in a
I'll either
space
dropped
to be
out
able
or,
to. Yeah. One of the two. I'm going to roll into another game, which.
The Witcher 5.
Jeez, what happens with The Witcher 4?
I forgot what the on.
Well, I've got another two games on here which they're not similar. They're both FPS games. So there's only a few. There's not a huge amount of kind of shooter games that I'm looking forward to this year. But the Division 2 is one of them. Doom Eternal is another.
That was, man, you're hitting my limited list. But that's I mean that's just because fucking Doom 20 something 17 16 was it 16?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Doom was so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't finish it because I haven't finished the game in ages because of reasons. But I'm looking forward to going back to it. And honestly,
Yeah.
like when Doom Eternal comes out, I'm pretty much gonna go. Might even restart Doom, but definitely finish it. Like, and by that I mean I don't know if my computer and all the if I've managed to lose the saved game. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't the fault of the game that I didn't finish it. And so, I mean, it's such a minimal bar. I want the same type of experience,
Exactly.
and it was so gameplay based that it's not like you have to worry about a lot to redo it. Like, well, I mean, obviously, it's not like, well, just reskin things and ha 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 ha. But I mean. They have a good handle of the gameplay.
Yeah,
The plot of
definitely.
the game won't matter. So it's not like you have to worry about writing. It's just like coming up with new enemies and new dynamics, but in the same gameplay space that they clearly fucking know because that game was a smash.
Completely. That's exactly the reason I'm looking forward to it. Just have this kind of almost no nonsense, frantic, fast paced, kind of almost brawler in a way. It feels like you're jumping between rooms so quickly, just flying through, eviscerating everything kind of in your path, and you want that power, you want that kind of that gore, that speed, just to kind of take you through. And as you say, you don't need to worry too much about the story and stuff. I mean, it's nice if it's there, but I'm not going to worry too much.
It wasn't a
about
story release. It's not why it made it.
No. On the opposite end of the shooter scale, the other shooter I'm looking forward to is Metro Exodus, which is pretty soon, is next month. That's a little bit more kind of story driven. It's a bit more survival. Well, it's a lot more survival than kind of Doom, but it's got those elements to it that kind of just intrigue me, and I absolutely loved Last Light. So if it's more of the same, then I'm definitely on board.
Own the Metro games, but never got into them.
Okay.
And that's not because they didn't appeal. It was just the timing, and then also the like, oh, I should play the first one before playing the second one. Oh, now there's a third one. Goddamn. What if it didn't matter, Adele? I don't know what that means. Shut up. Why are you so mean to me?
I never played the first one, but I think I got the second one as a PS Plus game on the PS3 long time ago. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it does storytelling really well. It does dark, cramped, claustrophobic spaces that fill with enemies really well. It creates tension. It makes the game scary, even though you have these powerful weapons in front of you to be able to take stuff down. You are still hesitant in that game. They're changing things up a little bit in this. You don't have to worry about kind of like the bullets being currency in this game, so you're not worried about whether you should try and do a more stealthy approach and save your bullets. So it may open it up a little bit more, but it kind of seems like it's trying to lean a little bit into the survival kind of nature of it still, by making it maybe a little less constrained perhaps, but I've not seen much more than kind of like the trailers and the demos that have been shown, so it's going to be kind of the couple of weeks or before when we start getting previews and reviews start to drop that we're really going to get a proper flavour for what that game's kind of going to be. But from what I've seen so far, it'll probably be one of my first buys of this year, I would imagine, but we'll see, maybe. Have you got another game to roll us into?
Originally, I was quite looking forward to the first real Fire Emblem game for the Switch. Like, not the Heroes one, but the actual one. Because that should be coming out this year, but it's Nintendo, so maybe not. But to be honest, I have to say, cribbing from or rather, calling back to your earlier comments about what about the game still hasn't managed to play from this year? I'm much more looking forward to playing a playthrough of Mutant Year Zero for my SRPGs fix than I am Fire Emblem.
Sure.
But that is, it's the right wheelhouse. I've enjoyed the previous games. Although Now that I think about it, I think Disgaea 5 came out and I never played that, so that should be on my list.
I don't know.
In that category of game, right? Like,
Sure.
But yeah, so I would say, but I'm looking forward to hearing about how good or bad it is.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I have finished my rum. I might open up another one. I know that you're probably nowhere near your beer. Yeah, yeah. So just sit on your beer for a while. It's
I was
fine.
gonna say I have the third beer, but I don't need to.
No, we don't. You save it. Save it for next week, perhaps. So I'm going to open up Legendario Elixir de Cuba Puncho Rum Prodecto Hecco on Cuba, 34% alcohol. I don't know kind of what most of that means. I definitely can't read the
legendary.
Bebe Responsablemente. It's probably drink responsibly. That's kind of it.
I mean, that literally is what it means. I know a little Spanish.
There we go.
I'm guessing it's a dark rum, not spiced.
Wow, it seems super. I don't know whether it's just the. It's got a. No, I think it's a dark rum. It looks. I mean, it looks darker. It's a bit more brown than the dark matter. It's got this little kind of pouring cap. In it as well, which has made it kind of trickle out. It almost made it seem sort of syrupy the way it was pouring, but I don't think it is. Yeah, I mean, darker than the last one.
I'm going to assume it's not spiced though.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Smells much more like the Havana Club. Not getting a big kind of, not getting any spice on there really. But again, not a, as you get with some darker rums, that kind of, that hint at vanilla. Vanilla's used a lot in rum.
Yeah.
But used a lot more in spiced rum. But there's not kind of anything quite there for it yet. But
the vanilla flavor is often comes from the oaky barrels, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry about it. Just drink this stuff. Yeah. Legendario. Okay. I say it kind of poured out a little syrupy. It's got a very, very sweet flavour to it. Almost honey. Super, super smooth. Doesn't have the burn of the Havana Club at all. Like there.
What's the ABV? Because you did mention
it is lighter. It's 34%. The other two were 40%, so it's a little bit lighter. This has that honey sweetness to it that makes it just flows so smoothly. I've got that burn kind of a little bit in my chest, only slightly, a little bit in my throat. Nowhere near what I had from the Havana Club. Again, completely different kind of burn from the dark matter spiced rum, but the sweetness sticks around very nicely. And unlike the dark matter, it hasn't got me reaching for the glass again. It's kind of not dried my mouth out and kind of made me salivate slightly to kind of try and grasp towards it. I'm thinking, probably because I'm talking so much, I want another sip because I want another sip. It's odd because you don't get any of that sweetness on the nose at all. There's nothing at all there. It smells very similar to the Havana Club.
I mean,
I don't know whether it's because I've been, because I've had three different rums now, but on the nose, the Havana Club, you're getting much more of that ethanol, that alcohol punch to it when you open it up. This one is, that 6% must be doing a lot to drop that. You're not getting that through on the nose at all.
So, I mean, I don't taste rum, but I used to have a Scotch habit. But when you're tasting Scotch, one of the things you do is you put your hand over the cup and wait for like 10-20 seconds.
Okay.
Such that when you release, you've built up the nose, because of course, as time is going by, some of it's evaporating. So give it a good 20-30 seconds like this, covering it, and then quick let go, and then just give it a nice slow draw in, and you'll get, basically it's just amplifying the nose because you're concentrating it. But that might give you a better idea of what the nose is doing.
I shall sit on this for another few seconds and come back to it. Maybe, well,
Yeah.
how long have we had? Maybe 15, 20 seconds?
Yeah. Keep going.
No. You even that sort of little time did just give me a little bit more. Yeah, definitely kind of a honeyness. Which if I stick my nose in and I really sniff, obviously is coming through a lot more now because I know it's there. But that's good. Right. More games.
So you said Metro Exodus?
Yes, Metro Exodus. So there's a few more I want to talk about, but some of them we don't know much about at all. So obviously things like The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, I'm really looking forward to. No idea if they're 2019 games.
Yeah. I mean, Ori, the new Ori is supposed to be this year.
Yes.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I'm looking forward to that because
nice.
It's Ori.
Yeah, which you can play on the PC as well.
Yeah. Pocket Monsters is supposed to come out on the Switch this year. I'm not a Pocket Monster person, but
sure. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Might hold the same kind of time slot as Let's Go as well. You know, right towards the end of the year. What's Let's Go? End of November release, beginning of December maybe. So yeah, might still hold that. Obviously, there's a lot of time. Nintendo have this way of being able to kind of go, oh, here's a direct. This game's coming out in like 2 months' time.
Which
brilliant.
Kind of am okay with it.
Yeah.
Do you have? I'm just gonna throw another one out. I really, really, really liked the first one. I'm hesitantly hoping the second one, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Ooh, another 2019 waiver.
Yeah.
If not
one of those
like,
things where they said 2 years ago, or in 2017 they said it was gonna come out this year, but I'm gonna guess next year.
Well, I mean, they may have said 2019 because maybe I think Beyond Good and Evil may be a next generation game as well. So people kind of say 2019 because maybe the consoles are coming out in 2019 and the game can come out then. But you know, who knows with a lot of these games.
I mean, in that case, I think Last of Us 2 is probably going to be, if we're that close to the new generation, it's going to be a launch title on the new gen. There'd be, I think.
I don't know. I wonder whether The Last of Us 2 is a early 2020 game, and then the PS5 is a late, like a holiday 2020 release. So you've got
which is why I'm saying if it's close, it's going to be a long.
Yeah. So I think we're probably just under 2 years away from the new systems. So we've got some time for these games to kind of come out and have a bit of time. That's not going to hamper their sales and things like that. So another one that kind of falls into this category for me is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
So I read about it, and by that I mean I saw it on a list of games, and somehow I know nothing about it, and because I like Star Wars games.
No one knows anything about it. It's been so kind of like dark. We had the announcement of the name of it from. It is Respawn, isn't it, that are making it? Yeah. We had the announcement at E3, or just who's the guy? What's the guy called? Vince Zampella? Yes. He was sat like in the crowd and just said, "Yeah, we're making the Star Wars game. This is the name of it." Everyone's like, "Woo!" and that's it.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows?
I mean, I really like the Jedi Academy.
Yeah, definitely.
Those games were good.
Yeah.
They improved on Dark Forces dramatically. And because it's Respawn, God, it could go any kind of way, and that's why I don't know what to think, because like if it's like a Titanfall-esque thing in the Star Wars universe, that doesn't make sense because we have the shitty Battlefront remakes.
You just ATST drivers constantly. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly, right. So then what is Respawn do? Like, where they excel is like these like really quick, dynamic, balanced gameplay. How that translates to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, that's what it's called. I don't know.
Not a clue.
Yeah.
So a game that I think is slated to come out this year, which I think it's something that you played. Did you play Quantum Break?
I did.
You did play Quantum Break. So it's from Remedy.
I liked it a lot. I didn't finish it. Why didn't I finish it? Oh, there was a level that I wanted to really do well. That's what happened. Yeah.
And you just stopped, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So the new game from them is Control, which looks kind of a little bit insane. You know, the room is shifting, the building that you're in is kind of shifting in this kind of sci-fi style. You know, panels are kind of changing. It's almost like a little bit sort of Portal-esque in the way that the room kind of changes and moves.
I didn't realize it was from those guys.
Yeah,
because I saw it on a list and I was like, I don't know what this is.
The character, the main character, kind of looks like she's going around, and she looks like she has a gun, which I think in one of the trailers kind of just shifts as well, whether it's a different item and turns into a gun, I can't remember. But she looks like maybe she's got some kind of powers as well, where they're like psychic powers, so that she can kind of push things, or maybe it's her changing the environment. It seems really interesting kind of as a concept, that you've got this constantly changing environment, and it might not be a constantly changing environment. You know, we might not be going through a level and then coming back through it being shifting all of the time. It might just be a very linear corridor game, you know, and you see the room move, and then that's just how you kind of do it, and then you move on to another space and stuff. It might not be quite what I think I want it to be, but
I really like what. So I respected Alan Wake.
Yeah.
Didn't think it was like the best implementation of what they were trying to do. Like, there were clearly flaws. I really liked Quantum Break. I thought, to be honest, that game felt really well designed, which I was surprised at. Well, actually, to be honest, I mean, now I think about it, aiming wasn't as big of a deal so long as you were time controlling, which then makes sense that, like, why it might be better on the console than when I, like, because I bought it on the Xbox and I have it installed on my PC because of Play Anywhere.
yes.
And then the last few times I tried to play it, I was like, I haven't played this game in ages. When I played it, I was playing with a controller with buttons mapped to I barely remember. It's like, I don't, like, I mean, this like room where it's just an immediate assault, and it's like, I don't remember what all the moves are, let alone what they are, and I don't have any muscle memory because it's been a long time, and also my muscle memory was based on using an Xbox controller, and now I have a mouse and keyboard. Fuck, I don't even know what I'm doing. And one of the reasons why I was like, it's no big deal getting the Xbox is because that's one of the games I really wanted to finish, and I knew I could play it on PC.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean,
but I really respected. I you know, it was a lot of downloading of like cutscenes and whatever. Because they had that sort of TV show element
to it.
I thought was okay. Like I thought it was better than like my trying to do, but it was just like, this is an interesting idea. I'm glad you did it. I don't think many people are going to do it again. That's okay.
Sure.
And what made me happy with Quantum Break was like the gameplay and the time dynamics. Like all the powers you got made the gameplay really interesting, such that even though like the plot was kind of fractured because of this attempt, it didn't ruin the game. But also, basically it was like, I also, even though the plot stuff sort of took away from the game, it was an unique and interesting way of approaching storytelling with games that I super appreciate and want more attempts at. It wasn't like, what's his nuts? You know, David Cage. It's not like David Cage.
Just him as a man.
Well, you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, I know what you
want
mean.
Movies, but I can't make movies, so I'll make games that are just like a bunch of QTEs. Right, like it was like, what if we involved movie-like storytelling in a game where we acknowledge that transition and try to make sense of what the two mediums do well in and of themselves?
Exactly.
Super interesting. So I mean, because of that, I the next couple of games Respawn does, I'll probably pick up. I just missed Control. I didn't realize Control was that. I mean, you know me, I've been in a game hermit for a long time. I didn't realize that this game was out, let alone by there, or not, like there was a trailer, let alone it was by these guys.
Yeah. So I mean, it would be interesting to see what they kind of take from Quantum Break as well, what they implement, whether it's just, you know, more of a traditional kind of game, or whether there are little bits in there as well. We'll see. I've got two more. One I kind of don't really want to talk about.
I've
what
got
I
a couple more as well.
do.
So
All right. So the one I don't really want to talk about, which we can move on quite quickly from, is In the Valley of the Gods.
I don't know this one.
From Campo Santo. Which if you haven't seen the trailer for it, go and watch the trailer for it. That will do it much more justice than I will through
What's it called?
explanation. In the Valley of the Gods. It's got a fantastic art style revolving around. It looks to be sort of like 1920s kind of Egypt. Whether you're like tomb raiders as such, or kind of explorers, discoverers, kind of trying to go through the tombs in Egypt, I'm not sure, but based on kind of Firewatch and the relationship that the two characters in Firewatch have, this kind of looks to be changing that dynamic up, where you're actually with another character and you have those direct kind of conversations with people, rather than being kind of over a radio. You know, people can't get away from each other. You have to have those conversations. So whether it's a difficult kind of relationship between the two characters will be interesting to see. So, again, I don't know kind of where this game is at, because Campo Santo was picked up by Valve, like the only studio ever to be picked up by Valve in the last however many years. So I don't know where this
made games for ages.
Exactly. I don't know where this game kind of is at the moment either. So again, just go and watch a trailer. You'll see how kind of good it looks. I'll just run straight into my final one, which is the Man of Medan.
Oh, I don't know this one.
Which is Supermassive Games. The people who made oh shit, the game's gone from my mind. What's the game called? With the kids in the cabin and the Yetis, but they're not Yetis, and the people and the stabby and the death. The worst way to describe a game ever.
I thought I knew what you were talking about, and now I don't. Until Dawn.
Until Dawn, there we go. So, yes.
So, to be honest, when you said the kids in the cabin, I was like, oh, it's Until Dawn. And then you said the Yetis and the other thing, and my brain was like, wait, is that the thing? And then it was so confused that it threw the words Until Dawn out. And I was like, no, wait, I'm pretty sure it was that thing. What was that thing? I don't remember. I think
I confused myself as well.
Yeah.
So Man of Medan is kind of like another horror short from these guys. It's I think they've been calling it like an anthology piece, and it's called The Dark Pictures as a whole, kind of the thing that they're kind of crafting at the moment. So set on a boat, horror on a boat seems fucking frightening. So again, I don't know whether there's been a date for this, so kind of 2019.
I mean,
maybe.
So I'm on Supermassive Games website, and they have it slotted for 2019.
Yeah. Some point in the next 362 days. So they're the games that I kind of am looking forward to. There's a lot more, but
I'm going to add a couple.
So yes.
I jokingly said Shenmue 3. I don't know what to make of that. But I liked the premise of that rare game, the pirate rare game.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. Yeah, I played a bunch of the closed beta and then the open beta, and I liked. So my biggest problem with Assassin's Creed Black Flag was
I know where we're going.
The best part of that game was when you weren't Assassin's Creeding and you were just fucking pirating, and Skull and Bones is the pirate game. I just don't trust Ubisoft. I'm sure they're going to fuck that. So it's a low, like, again, like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic about Anthem. I'm much less cautious, but still optimistic about Division 2. I think it'll probably end up picking it up and having some fun, even if it's not the greatest. And this is like lower than Anthem.
Yeah.
Oh, this could easily be a slam dunk if only Ubisoft knew why their games were good, but they clearly don't. Like they make games that have good parts, but don't understand why those parts are good.
It's a weird place Ubisoft are in there. Weird.
I know very little about The Outer Worlds, but I'm again cautiously optimistic about that because it's from the original Fallout creators, and I think I really liked Fallout New Vegas. It's got Fallout New Vegas as some of their dev team and the original Fallout creators. I didn't end up playing Fallout 4, though I think I may own it. But
Of
like
course you
some,
do.
yeah, but like that maybe could be good, mostly because it's not a Fallout. I feel like the problem with the Fallout series is they're attached to the Fallout universe and like taking the premise,
Hmm.
the vague premise that make grounds Fallout to it, but just doing everything new is exactly what the series needs, which is like something's happened to the world, post-apocalyptic, fast forward, like something happened to the world, and you're coming from in a fast forward to that,
Sure.
and that's what Outer Worlds is. But my big star has got to be, because I am such a fan of the first two, is the fact that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is
Ooh,
coming out
yes. I
in
thought you'd pick this.
2019 exclusively to the Switch,
I know, weird, right?
right? And I don't know what that means, but I mean, that's what's going to get me fucking paying for Switch monthly tax, because I don't think I'll be able to play that game by like in my house. I'm gonna need to have online friends. Fuck. But I fucking love, as we talked about in our Marvel review,
Yes.
Alliance 1 and 2. Um, it's a game where, even though the developers switched, I'm still probably gonna like week one it,
Yeah.
because I love that series so much. It's just, I've beat 1 and 2 several times. Like, I just enjoy playing those games. If they figure out the basic mechanics of what makes that series good, I will do it. I'm hoping that it's more bite-sized, or at least like the missions are slightly shorter and you can
Sure.
start, such that like I could like come to yours and we can play on the two controllers and beat
Yeah.
the level.
Yeah.
Like,
It fits more with the time that you have. It's a little bit more accessible in
yeah,
terms
I
of its
think
kind of
that's what putting it on the Switch should be, is
sure.
same style gameplay, shorter missions, and multiple save games ideally, so that like I could have a running game with you and a running game
Yeah.
with someone else,
Yeah.
etc. That would be my dream come true. And honestly, you wouldn't need to do anything else as long as I can be the Human Torch, because he's OP if you spec him the right way in both 1 and 2.
Ooh, will any Fantastic Four characters be included? Who knows? They're
So,
up in the air a
well,
little bit of
yeah,
Marvel, aren't they? So
yeah. One of the problems with Ultimate Alliance 1, especially, was that they had DLC packs on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 that gave you more characters, and like things like the Hulk were DLC locked.
yeah,
But those contracts quickly expired, and when they re-released the games, like for on PC, for example, they didn't get any extra licensing. So the only way to play those extra characters is if you bought them at the time on the Xbox
oh,
360 or
lame.
PlayStation 3. There's just no way of accessing those characters. That also include playing as some of the enemies,
Yeah,
the bad guys. So there was like a heroes expansion and then a villains expansion, and those characters are really fun. And you can't there's no incarnation you can play unless you happen to own it on PSN or Xbox Live from 10 years ago, literally 10 years ago.
oh, rubbish.
Yeah.
Rubbish. So this might bridge that gap. This might give you,
Yeah, so I'm hoping they'll.
yeah, nice. So they are most anticipated games for 2019. Adil, you drank beer. I drank rum. I mean, for me, I'm just going to tell you what my favourite one was, because I have poured it again. I've reached for it a second time. And
I saw you reach, but I couldn't see the bottle, so I was like, I know there's a winner. There's a clear winner. Grab the bottle.
There is. It is the Legendario. The third
it
rum
sounded
that I
like
had.
a really smooth. So one of my problems with spiced rums is, and I think this is just because I like things like whiskey.
Yeah.
So like the types of tastes I'm used to, is spiced rum feels like it's trying to like overcompensate and overload and overcompensate for a lack of just general character, which is not always the case. But because I'm used to like whiskeys where you never have that like in your face thing, I feel like, oh, a good quality like liquor has strong tastes, but they're nuanced, they're not in your face. etc. So whenever I try rum, I'm always reaching for sort of a top shelf dark rum because it reminds me of the things I know, and I recognize
Sure.
that's not fair because there are some really quality spiced rums, and
Yes.
the whole point of a quality spiced rum is it's going to be more in your face. But
Is exactly what you're describing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, for me, the Legendario was, as you say, it was just that little bit smoother. It is a bit more nuanced. You get a lovely kind of honey sweetness to it. It's doing slightly more than the Havana Club is, which is much more oaky.
right,
A nice but kind of a danker kind of flavour to it. The dark matter obviously very different to both of them, but a big punch of that one. A nice winter kind of rum though. Something that definitely gives you a slightly different burn than the other two. But yeah, the Legendario just kind of stood out a little bit more, perhaps, for me. Don't think I've ever really had much. I've had honey in rum, but I don't think quite to this punch. So yeah, an easy one for me this week, as I think it will be for you as well.
yeah, it's all the Mo's.
Yeah.
It's just clearly all the Mo's. It's one of those things where on other weeks the Weird Beard might have a chance, especially against. So I will say this: the Kill Pills Weird Beard, at least this batch that I had, if it was against other loggers, it probably trumps most of the ones I've had, including the craft loggers I've had in recent months. It has a really interesting nuance. It has a softness that you don't normally get with pills, and like a depth with lagers and pilsners. But like it's just outclassed. Like this is a pale ale. It's not an IPA. It's a pale ale with a huge amount of nuance on the foretaste and some depth on the finish. That still but it was still a pale ale, so it didn't last that long. So I was reaching for it in a way that you don't do with an IPA because they're sort of like even lighter IPAs, sort of like there's just a lingering that happens with the higher alcohol and the stronger hopping, and this just didn't, and that's why I nursed it a little bit, but was consistently going back because I was like, oh, I want to have more of this experience. And what I really liked about it was very hoppy, but not like there were clearly some hops going on, but it wasn't hoppy in your face, and it still felt like a pale ale because again, it didn't linger that long.
Didn't linger.
It's just
perfect.
It's a great fucking beer. If you have a chance, find the Arbor All the Most. It's really, really good. It's yeah, I mean, and it's all like it's the right level of balance between sort of nuance, where I mean like not in your face, but still things going on. To be honest, Arbor usually has sort of a stronger taste contenders going on, and this might edge out a lot of other Arbor beers, like because it feels more balanced and less like this is a taste we know you'll like.
Nice.
Yeah, it's definitely worth finding. Find this fucking beer.
Good, yeah, I definitely will. So if you guys want to talk to us about games or beers, you can do so in lots of different ways. I am at Nova_47 on Twitter and on PSN and Steam. Aadil, you are at the Omniarch on almost all of the things except Twitch. But that one doesn't.
I'm gonna start Twitch screaming. Twitch screaming.
I'm gonna screaming,
yelling on Twitch. Once I finish this dissertation and I look for a job, I'll have nothing better. I plan on playing video games and not writing papers and trying to further my career.
Brilliant.
So yeah, I'll start streaming or something.
Nice. And then you're just the Omniarch, no underscore. No. Yeah, that's right.
No, I'm the _Omniarch on Twitch.
That's right.
I'm the Omniarch on Mixer. That thing that no one uses.
We are at Nova. No, we're not. We are at Hanked Up _cast.
We're now Nova 7. We've changed it. The official handle is now.
Yeah, that's it. Just me.
You can also reach us at the Out of Lives Facebook group.
Yes, definitely do. We're posting more. We're trying to engage a little bit more. We're doing a little bit more individual posting as well.
Yeah.
If there's something interesting that we see, we're putting it up. So come on to our Facebook page.
I also get the updates that that there are Tanked Up fans who consistently check in on the Tanked Up Facebook group, even though I think it's April was the last time it was updated.
Jeez.
If you are a listener who also uses the Tanked Up Facebook group, please abandon it and join the Out of Lives one. We don't touch it.
I'm going to delete it. I'm doing it. I'm going to delete it this week. It's going to be gone. We don't have to worry about it then. You should also go to outoflives.net to look at other articles and listen to other podcasts that are posted up on there if they're not already subscribed to in your podcast service.
Oh, actually,
choice.
did you get a chance to listen to the This Next Act Christmas special?
No, it's queued up, ready for tomorrow.
Because I was curious, because I edited it and there was more visual jokes than I was hoping for, so I have no idea. Like, I was hoping you could be like ringing endorsement, jingling endorsement. It's a Christmas special.
Maybe jingling endorsement. Yes, maybe next week I can, but then we're a week late, I suppose. But
yeah, that's fine.
Christmas jokes last all round, right? Oh yeah, it's fine.
Oh God, yeah, we're done. You're losing words, Ben. Christmas jokes last all round is not a coherent sentence.
Four double shots.
Yeah, thank you for admitting that you were pouring doubles, because you're like, I'll just pour a splash. I'm like, that's
4 double shots in an hour's. Yeah, it's hit me.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm going to pour another Legendario out, and I'm going to go and watch Luther. So, for another week, we've been tanked up by...
It's been tanked up by Aadil and Ben. Yeah, you are drunk. That wasn't that funny. Awesome. Ciao!